What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. I have to record this video all over again. I listened to it and there was no clear audio. I don't have my correct mic. I have my big boy right here in the car with me. So I need to do it while I'm not moving, child, because y'all didn't get none of what I talked about. So I'm about to go through this list again. It took me 30 minutes the first time. Let's see if it takes me this long this time. I'm on the road to 5K. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Like the video so YouTube can know that you're into this content. This is a variety channel. I talk about politics. I talk about trending news. I talk about TV shows. I talk about music. Sometimes movie reviews. I do all that stuff here and I talk about me. So if this is the channel for you, we got a whole bunch of variety and you like variety, tune on in. Jasmine Crockett announced that she's considering running for Senate. She announced that she's going to make the announcement on December 8th. I thought she was going to go for governor because she did a whole video on Instagram talking directly to Greg Abbott, telling him that she's going to come after his seat. He's the governor. Okay, well, in the turn of events, she's decided now that she's going to run for Senate. Possibly. She's going to actually make her final decision around Thanksgiving. She said she's not going to let us know, though, until December 8th. She has to dot all her T's and cross all her I's to make sure that everything is in place, all the legalities and everything of it, and to make sure that she has the support in the base in order to do so, to almost guarantee her a win. I believe that she does. She actually believes she does. And she has people like Gavin Newsom helping her out. You see, he showed up in Texas. When he came through, baby, he stomped through like he was the motherfucking president. People were so excited and screaming for this California governor to make his way over to Texas. Now, Jasmine did the same thing when she was campaigning for Prop 50. She was out there in California with Gavin. They was on tour. You know, they was doing everything together. And I thought that she was going to actually do the governor run because Gavin Newsom just announced that he's going to run for president in 2028. We all knew it. We all expected it. And since since the whole gerrymandering thing came up, he has really came out and showed his ass to us, and we are loving it. He's another motherfucking narcissist too, right? He got his problems with his own, but he's shown us time and time again he's willing to stand up against the administration, right? So I was assuming that she was going to do the governor run just based off of their IG video, and the fact that usually when presidential candidates pick their running mates, they usually pick governors. But at the same time, I didn't realize they do also pick senators as well. Whoa, what is with everybody almost hitting people? So she's deciding that she's gonna run for. She's gonna decide. She's gonna announce whether or not she's going to decide to run in the next couple of weeks. So that'll be interesting. But I assume she's going to be on his ticket. She said she's getting help for her race by a lot of different people, which tells me she's still rocking with Kamala. Okay. At first I was thinking she was talking about Gavin, but Gavin's never been a senator as far as I know. If he is, let me know. But Kamala has, and she was on Kamala's committee. She was riding hard for her, trying to get her elected. And so I think she's going to be taking advice from Kamala Harris on what to do and how to try to seal that deal in the state of Texas by making her a senator. I don't specifically know how that is going to help Texas as a whole from her switching from the House to the Senate. But I'll look more into that deeply. What it is, I don't know if it's just me. If it's just me, or does Bernie and AOC seem to not be on the same page as Gavin Newsom and Jasmine Crockett? I believe they have the same goal, which is to fight against this fascist regime that we're dealing with. You know, protect the citizens against this administration. Bernie and AOC seem to be more on the Democratic Socialist stage. Gavin and Crockett still seem to be just like basic line Dems, but Dems with some fight in them. And it seems to me that they're working on the same fucking goal, the same end goal, but I don't see them working together. it seems like AOC and Bernie have really separated themselves from the Democratic Party for the most part altogether. You know, they're out there supporting Zoran and everything, which is lovely. But I really want them to be working together. So hopefully behind the scenes, they are working together. Because, like, I know Letitia James, she supports Zoran Mamdani. And I remember her coming out and saying that she's been working with the governors of different states, not just New York, but all different states, to help fight against this regime. So let's hope that they are secretly working together. They're just not being very loud and vocal about it. And they got some wheels in motion behind the baselines. Because we've seen a whole lot of new leadership, young leadership, coming out of that Tuesday election that could be beneficial for us. Got my eyes on everybody, child. Like I say, Newsom is already taking this campaign seriously. You know what I'm saying? By him going down there and campaigning and having town hall meetings in Texas. And I see he's going to be going to a few other states as well. He actually went to the summit. I think it was the G20 summit. Now, I'm not sure if governors are always invited to go, but this is the first time I've ever heard of a governor going. Now, you know, Gavin Newsom can't run again. Once this term is over, he won't be an elected official unless he does the presidential run. The felon was supposed to be there. He didn't show up. Did he show up to the last one when he was in office before? I don't remember. So he didn't show up to the summit, but Gavin Newsom was there, and he was shocked. Like, why the fuck is our leadership not here? Why are we not being represented? So he's already doing the job of the fucking felon. You know what I'm saying? And I like the fact that they are stomping the yard now. I hate when politicians wait till the election is almost here, and 6 months down the road before the election, now people getting to know their name, and everybody at the ballot box like, who the fuck is this? Half people didn't even know the fucking debates went on and shit like that. So I like that they're out here early doing a damn thing. Speaking of Zoran, he went to Puerto Rico. Now, people found it strange, and people was already like, I thought he said he wasn't gonna go to the foreign country. In his primary debate, they asked what foreign country they gonna go to first, and everybody said Israel. He said, I'm gonna stay here in New York. Okay, newsflash, motherfuckers, Puerto Rico is not a foreign country. They are part of these United States. Okay? They with us. They are Americans. And the fact that there are so many New York citizens who actually still have homes and family members in Puerto Rico as well, it makes sense. It makes sense for Zoran to go there. You know, just like he said he was going to stay in New York and talk to the citizens of New York about, you know, Israel. By him going to Puerto Rico is not the same, because a lot of citizens in New York, like I say, still own homes. They go back and forth between homes. And the reason why they do that is because Puerto Rican citizens don't have rights to vote in a lot of things, unless they have homes here in the 50 states. So they could be living in Puerto Rico, but if they have a home here within the 50 United States, they can vote. So it just made sense. And then to show fact that there are a lot of Puerto Ricans who are Muslim. He went to a masjid down there to pray, and it was beautiful. I was touched. I'm not even Muslim. I was touched. I think most Puerto Ricans are like Catholic and shit, you know what I'm saying? So I love that he was able to do that and tap into that, and it just made me feel so much. I still feel so good about him being elected. You know, they said that a lot of people claimed that they was going to leave, millionaires, or they was going to leave New York if he won. And you see some regular old folks claim that they was going to leave New York if he won. And a lot of people are sitting there waiting on the U-Haul trucks to pull up. Because what it would do, it'll open up housing. You know, there'll be less housing that Zoran got to create, because it'll be vacant homes that they could be filled with people who want to be there. Why y'all still there? I seen 2 videos of 2 chicks talking about they left and moved from New York to Florida, and they regret it. You ain't moved no damn where and moved back to Florida. New York that quick. Stop fucking lying. Y'all just doing that for clickbait and shit like that. But anywho, who else is leaving? Police officers, crooked ass cops are leaving. So Zoran and the new commish, they haven't really been on the same page for a lot of things. But one thing Zoran said that he liked about her and why he wanted to retain her as part of his administration is because she's came in there and cleaned up a lot of New York crooked ass cops. She's been holding them fucking accountable, these cops. So a bunch of cops said they gonna quit. He already cleaned up New York and he ain't even in office yet. He got motherfuckers running from the city. He got cops running, quitting their jobs. He's already cleaning up and he ain't even in fucking office yet. Okay? They ain't gonna do nothing but go over the ice. That's all these motherfuckers gonna do. Okay? And you know the FBI is still on the ICE's ass. You know, ordering them not to wear masks. Because, you know, it's mandated by a federal judge and everything. Because they out here kidnapping and raping and assaulting women. You know, disappearing different men who they've detained. Yeah, so they've been really getting attacked hard by the court system, and I'm loving every fucking minute of it. And speaking of that, Brandon Johnson of Chicago, my mayor, I never lived there. I know, I've never lived there. They was just down the street from me in St. Louis, though. Brandon Johnson just requested that the United Nations, the UN, look into the orange felon for fucking war crimes and violations. Hit that bitch car. I wanted him to hit the car that was almost ready to hit me, but they did. He got close to the motherfucker though. Anywho, oh God, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I didn't really want to see me hit the car. I mean, I did, but I didn't. Anyway, Brandon Johnson is requesting that they look into Trump for war crimes against Chicago citizens, violations of international law. I love every bit of it. This man is doing the Lord's work. He's been writing executive orders left and fucking right, just to protect his citizens. Please tell me that damn ain't coming over this way. Girl, it's a shopping cart. Is it coming my way? Is it gonna hit the car that I want the other car, the truck to hit? No, it stopped in the middle of the thing. But it was headed by direction, child. But it's aimed right at that lady's car. She gonna have to move it to back out. That's wild. Okay. Yes. So Brandon Johnson and Brandon Scott of Baltimore, they received some type of recognition for all their hard work. Both of their cities have seen significant decrease in crime and improvements to way of life for their residents and the citizens. So they both received awards. And I was thinking, go ahead on, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Y'all remember when they tried to use Let's Go, Brandon against Biden? Okay, it was a negative thing, and then Biden turned it around when he put his sunglasses on. Like, okay, let's go fucking Brandon. That's how I feel about Chicago and Baltimore right now. Brandon Johnson and Brandon Scott. Let's go, Brandon. Y'all do y'all motherfucking things. Okay. All right, so Gravalia finally is sworn in after 7 weeks after being elected. You know, she promptly signed the measure to vote on to release the Epstein files. In the meantime, the committee received a bunch of files, and these files contained emails that show proof that Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Michael Wolff were having conversations about Trump being a part of and participating in the child sex ring. Okay. Emails that I read go back as far as 2015 when the orange fellow was running for office the first time, right? Y'all do know that Erica Kirk was part of a trafficking ring as well. So she's originally she met the Dumb Don through one of his pageants. I remember that. Well, I didn't remember it, but I looked that up. And I think she won. I don't remember. But she was running some type of orphanage in Romania, you know, with the Andrew Tates. All right. And the country banned her organization and her from Romania because of the trafficking that was going on in her orphanage. It was that bad. She changed her name, came to America, went to apply for a job into Turning Point, which was Charlie Kirk's organization, and now 4 years later, he's gone. It was supposed to be love at first sight when he married her. 4 years later, he's dead. And now she owns it all. Not only does she own it all, she's in cahoots, and this is my opinion, with J.D. Vance and the Heritage Foundation. That I believe that she has something to do with her husband's shooting and their attempt to overthrow the dumb Don. Because I think the dumb Don is that dumb that he thinks that he's really running everything, and he got people with inside his organization that's madly against his ass. You see, Turning Point and all the other MAGA nuts, they turn on your ass quick. See how they doing with Usha Vance, but I don't got no feelings for that bitch either. She was trying to leave J.D. Vance before he switched over to a Republican. They both were Democrats, and then he switched over to a Republican and decided to run for office, and she decided to stay with him. It was a good look for him to still have a wife. He already had divorced his first wife. People don't even realize he already had one failed marriage where he was emotionally abusive before he changed his name to J.D. Vance. You know, I don't know what is with the Republicans changing their names like that. They all change their fucking names like they superstars and shit. So yeah, Gravalo's finally sworn in and those files being released, but the emails were released prior to so all the files still aren't released yet. They still waiting on all of them to be released. Oh, they claim the orange one is panicking. There was a press conference where some news reporter asked him about the files, and then all his handlers rushed them all out. They kicked him all out the press conference and everything like that. He was booed at the Commanders game, football game. He was booed, yeah, child. Okay, so Justice Brown Jackson of the Supreme Court, she sent the emergency SNAP funds case back to the lower courts. A lot of people was mad about that. I didn't have no horse in the game because I didn't really look into it deeply, but I understand that people who understand some of the processes of the court system realize that when she sends this back to the lower courts, it forces the lower court to make a decision if they do it properly. And they had already decided that he had to fully fund the SNAP benefits, even though the full fund would have been about $10 billion. They had $5 in emergency. They wanted them to use that $5 and then find the money somewhere else and fund them, cut some other programs out or some shit like that and fund them. And she revealed in her contingency that the $5 billion had vanished due to the executive branch. The executive branch is the president. I told y'all this last week in the PNTV that I did not think that money even exists, that money most likely was gone. And so be it. I told y'all before how he stole 80 million from New York's comptroller, New York State, the comptroller's office. And there have been some other money that supposedly was saved or found or, collected due to the Doge cuts. All that money is gone too. I told y'all, he is pulling off the biggest money heist in the world right now, right before our eyes. Follow the fucking money. That's all we gotta do is follow the fucking money. What are they gonna do about that $5 billion of SNAP benefits being missing? Well, this is how you get the eyes off the prize. You reopen the fucking government. There was 8 Democrats who flipped in the Senate and voted with the Republicans, which forced the measure to be pushed back to the House. And the CR measure, I remember seeing so many influencers all over the internet talking about, don't worry y'all, it ain't been voted on yet. Baby, it was done. Trust me, and we all know that Chuck Schumer had something to do with that shit. It's not a coincidence that everybody that voted yes ain't even up for re-election. We know Schumer had something to do with it. He claimed he don't. They did it behind his back. He claimed it was a coup, which also shows that you ain't got no control or no leadership over your fucking people. We got people out here protesting, hitting the streets, having the biggest protest that the world has ever seen here in America. Motherfuckers not getting fed. Motherfuckers going to work without pay. Motherfuckers losing their job left and right. The people are holding the fucking line, and you son of a bitches broke rank. Let me see how this person drives. Everybody been driving crazy. Okay. One of the things I noticed in the bill, that they were trying to sneak in a nationwide abortion ban into the funding bill. Because it went through the Senate, I'm not sure what happened with that. I need to look into it. I just have headlines here. I don't have like deep notes. But when it went over to the House and it got passed through the House, let me tell you what else happened. There were 8 Republicans who were going to be paid $500,000 per violation. What violation may that be? Well, the Department of Justice had been investigating people in regards to the election rigging, had been investigating people in regards to the insurrection, had been interviewing people just to find out if they had any information. And those 8 Republicans can call each one of those items a violation and get paid $500,000 per violation from the DOJ, according to the measure, the funding bill that was just passed through. So the fuck y'all voted on. I personally am not happy about the shutdown ending, and here's why. I know people are back at work, but that is just y'all breaking the strike line for me. Y'all just crossed the picket line for me. The ones who are out here celebrating and being gleeful about it. I know we didn't want the government to shut down, but at least people back to work. Y'all are the motherfuckers that, and I have to always use this as an example, doing the Montgomery boycott. If they had just quit and allow people back on the bus with nothing changing other than the white bus drivers getting a raise. For every black person that comes onto the bus, they get a raise. For everything that they violated, they get paid for it. And y'all will be the first one to say, well, at least we back on the bus. This is exactly what that sounds like to me. Exactly what that sounds like to me. At least we back on the bus. They, far as last time I checked, they hadn't picked a specific date that everything was supposed to open back up. But I guarantee you, everybody will have their money by Thanksgiving. And you want to know why? It's not because they want to put food on people's table. They don't. It's not that they want to celebrate, have people celebrate with their families. It's all to do with the fact that we have an economic boycott starting the day after Thanksgiving. And this right here will undermine it for sure. Think about it. These people haven't had money come in since October 1st. They're going to get it all right at Thanksgiving. And when they get that money, what are they going to do? They're going to go shopping. Trust me, these people ain't worried about, some of them ain't 100% worried about just being able to survive and to live, because the shutdown can happen again in January, because it's only extended to January. That's not what they're worried about. They want to get Christmas gifts for their loved ones. They want to travel during Thanksgiving. They want to buy all the things on Amazon that they were not able to buy. It's going to negatively affect the economic boycott. Buying shit left and right. Traveling left and right. That is what is going to happen once they receive this money. And speaking of buying through Amazon and shit, Amazon is going to allow ICE to buy their warehouses to use as mega concentration camps. It's not set in stone yet, but that is the deal that's trying to go forth. They're trying to get Amazon. You already know, based off of the strikes that the Amazon's employees have done, they've talked about work conditions. They talk about conditions of the building. They complained about this shit so much that the employees went on strike, and these are the facilities that they're going to use to house people that they have snatched off the street. Because I don't even think they're deporting people anymore. They just put them in concentration camps and disappearing their ass. They are basically going to be creating another alligator Alcatraz using Amazon warehouses. Amazon is part of this economic boycott that we are implementing. November 25th is the beginning, y'all, for those of us who are still in this fight. For those of us who still want to hold the line in the best way that we could possibly do. The best way to show that you can't move the money, we move it for you. I'm upset, child. I'm upset. Alright, so I don't know where exactly I left off or started off on the last video, but I'm not going to do that part over again because this is almost an hour-long video with both of them combined. I'm not going to sit here and record the whole thing all over again. But I think I got everything covered, child. We can't stick together for shit. Yeah, at least they back at work though. That's when you go on strike, you can cross the picket line and go back to work anytime you want to. This is a nationwide strike. And yeah, it's easy for me to say because I go to work and I'm getting paid. I know it's easy for me to say. But I was trying to make sure that I participated in that economic boycott. I had already reserved in my mind we was cutting off the Amazon, especially since I've been finding a lot of the movies that I want to watch is on Tubi. Tubi's free. Let me get into this grocery store and try to get some milk. Shit high as hell. Eggs still high as fuck. We get nothing out of the goddamn deal but a promise to maybe vote on the health care issue at the end of the year after it expires. Mike Johnson already came out and said he don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. He ain't finna put that shit on the floor. He ain't finna put that measure on the floor. The frustration is real, child. Alright, y'all. The second part of this is already recorded, so it's gonna look kind of like off and shit, you know. But I'm gonna stitch them together. By the time I come out of this store, I should have a full video and be able to upload it by the time I get home. Once you get your back pay, don't spend it. If you gotta pay bills, I think that's the only thing that wasn't excluded was paying bills. But I've seen people like, well, if you're not gonna shop, buy black. Don't buy shit. Black business still gotta go through the system too. The credit card still gotta be processed by the credit card companies. The money still gotta go through the bank. That's where the money is at, y'all. That's where the money is at. That motherfucker's net worth has increased. Him and what's that boy name? Elon Musk. Elon Musk is on the road to be the first trillionaire. How? What have you done that's gonna make you a trillionaire? I still been watching the stock. The stock ain't grown that much. How are you on the road to become a trillionaire? And the orange felon's worth has increased. I think he's actually a millionaire now. He didn't used to be because he was lying. All these little phony businesses that he's been creating, these grifting businesses, they are being used to launder the money. Y'all watch enough money heists, enough power, know that that money got to be clean, got to be washed, cannot be traced. That's what they're doing. Back in March, while we were sleeping, because I probably don't know this, but I remember I said the SEC, you can look at their SEC records and see what type of assets these businesses own, the owners own. Back in March, Trump changed the regulations where most of these online businesses and crypto business, that which he has, that which is supposedly was making him the millionaire, that they are deregulated now, and they don't have to disclose. They don't have to disclose what the assets they have and things like that in the SEC requirements. He reduced the SEC staff. He changed the oversight on who has to, who needs to report information, what things can be done. He's given tax benefits and incentives. The crypto is basically unregulated altogether. And that guy who he just pardoned, that had was it money laundering with Al Qaeda? He was doing some type of embezzlement thing with Al Qaeda. He just pardoned him. He's the one that helped build the Orange Felons crypto business. Follow the fucking money. I've never seen so many poor people complain about other poor people getting shit, but ain't mad at these fucking millionaires who getting it from them. I don't. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Alright, y'all. I know I said I was done, but I'm not really done because I didn't finish. And I wanted to make sure y'all got all this information before I rounded out this video. So I think where I left off was that I was talking about how Amazon, the company, one of the companies that is part of this economic boycott that we're supposed to be attacking, Amazon is going to allow ICE, or they're trying to cut a deal with ICE, so that ICE can use their old warehouses as detention camps. The employees who currently work at Amazon and the ones who strike against Amazon year after year, they've already complained about the work conditions and the conditions of the facilities and things of that nature over the years. So just imagine how poor these warehouses will be as far as housing people. So the people that they are kidnapping off of the streets, they're no longer deporting people that I could think of. Usually they deported them to Venezuela, they deported them to here. They're not like, they seem like they're just snatching people, which is a form of human trafficking. Okay, they're snatching people off the streets and they're just going to put them in these doggone detention centers that they're calling it would be mega centers, like basically alligator Alcatraz all over again. You just be in an Amazon warehouse. And so that's one of the things that they are planning to do as well. So I don't remember if I had talked about that, but I want to say that was one of the last things on this list from that side. I believe I was talking about how Meta, as of December 16th, Meta, which is owned by Mark Zuckerberg, he owns Instagram, he owns Facebook, he owns WhatsApp, and I forgot what else fall. I know for a fact those three things fall under Meta. Starting December 16th, they are going to start recording everything that you send through your conversations, through DM, through voicemails. They will be taking your photos and they will be feeding them into AI software in order to make profit off of the content in which you share with your family, friends, and loved ones. So if you use Instagram or Facebook's, is it Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, or Instagram DMs, they will be recording your conversations, your voicemails, and your photos and feeding those into AI software to earn profit beginning December 16th. There is a way in which you could opt out. It is very tedious. I will try to make sure I get all the instructions for you and put it possibly in a short. I know that there's somebody that did it on Instagram already. He was going through it, and maybe I'll copy his and put the short up so that way y'all can see how to opt out of this. You can't just like push a button on these platforms and say, I don't want y'all to do this. You have to actually fill out paperwork, child, and send paperwork in, which you know a lot of people ain't gonna do. Nancy Pelosi stepping down. I guess that's the good news for today. Who gives a fuck? Bye, girl. You need to go. Schumer need to go. All your motherfuckers need to go. Flights. So, flights have been being canceled since the beginning of the shutdown at rapid numbers. They've been averaging over 2,000 canceled or delayed flights since October 1st, right? It's not only due to the shutdown, it's due to the cuts that the air traffic controllers had, and things of that nature. That's also hindering travel. It's causing major delays, causing cancellations. We had a 4-hour cancellation when we came back from Vegas. I still didn't tell y'all all the stuff that happened in Vegas, but it was so bad. Delays are crazy. So what they're saying is, there's been the ATC, the air traffic controllers, have been made to come to work without pay since the shutdown. Also the TSA employees as well. I do have the number. 13,000 air traffic controllers have been made to go to work without pay. Okay, but motherfuckers are tired. So they have now been averaging 20 to 40% of the employees just not showing the fuck up. Okay, so on Monday, the orange felon, when they Monday morning, before they even decided to come up with this so-called resolution, Monday morning, the orange felon did he posted it on his Truth Social, saying that all air traffic controllers must go to work, or else we're gonna dock you bigly. Basically they gonna fine your ass, fine. You know how Ike Turner used to do it, everybody fine you. They gonna dock you. You won't be getting your back pay if you don't show up for work, or it says they will be fired. So the way that he's doing this now, since Monday, the cancellations have lessened to probably about 700 a day from that 2,000 that it's been averaging since October 1st. But the airlines are mad. Okay, the airlines have been pumping money into this administration like crazy. Delta, Southwest, all of them, all the airlines have been pumping money into the current administration because they have been losing millions and millions of dollars. They've been announcing on flights for you to contact your senator so that way they can get the government open back up. Again, this is only to benefit the corporations. Of course, people want to travel. People want to get to where they need to go. And because they now have reopened the government, so to speak, people are going to be spending money on the back pay that they haven't had. You know, they're going to be spending money to make these flights because people don't know how to sit their ass down. People don't know how to stay united and participate in the fucking boycott. No travel, no spending money at all. It's part of this boycott. But they are going to be buying these tickets and everything just so they can get back on these flights. But the air traffic controllers have already said it don't matter if the government open back up. We still going to have a problem. There have been over 1,000 air traffic controllers who have retired since October 1st. Over 1,000, child. Okay. So they expect very long delays. I was reading something about the pilots were saying that the takeoff is going to take much longer because, again, they don't have the air traffic controllers to help them, you know, get ready for takeoff and things of that nature like they're supposed to. So it may take them almost 2 hours just to take off after they seat your ass on the plane. And like I said, we experienced that coming back from Vegas. We was like, what the fuck is going on? So that was happening just because they was getting, you know, reduction in staff. Now you not only have reduction in staff, you had the people who was mad they wasn't fucking getting paid, so they wasn't showing up. It just made matters worse. I still say hold the fucking line, because he's trying to, the orange felon is trying to replace the air traffic controllers anyway. He's going to have a new air traffic control system built by IBM and Raytheon. And it's going to, what he said, let me see if I got his words. It's going to be the best thing ever seen in the world in the next couple of weeks. So, you know, a lot of stuff happens while we were sleeping, while we were sleeping. For the employees that he's demanding to go back to work, you know, they still got a lot to say, fuck you, I ain't coming. Because they tired, they fed up. Or the ones who was like not showing up because they weren't getting paid yet, because they still haven't said when they're going to start actually paying people. They may wait until we hit the actual date. But if you agree to go in now, we gonna give you a $10,000 sign-in bonus. He always offering bonuses that these motherfuckers never get. So, in response to these delayed flights and canceled flights and stuff, they had to reduce the travel or the number of flights by 12%. Okay, the easy way to do that would have been to just lock down on private flights. You know, the ones that the millionaires and the billionaires take, those private jets and stuff like that, lock down on them. What they started off doing is canceling domestic flights. They're not going to fuck with those international flights because it makes them more money. So it was the domestic flights that they have been canceling, and they intentionally selected domestic flights. But we have airports in cities where we have leadership that is trying to combat this current administration that are taking matters into their own hands. Chicago, ORD. Dallas, Fort Worth. NYC, I don't know, JFK Airport? Because I don't believe it's LaGuardia. LAX. Atlanta, Hartsfield Jackson. I think that's how you pronounce it. And Ronald Reagan Airports up in Dallas and DC. These are all the cities that have been targeted or affected by this administration. You know, DFW is blue as hell. They all decided, well, we're going to cancel the private flights for you. So they are canceling private flights all from those airports, which by them canceling those private flights, it's affecting the other airports, which is still pissing off the FAA, because at least 6% of those private flights go through the FAA. Okay, just gotta know, follow the money and what they trying to do. Follow the money. What else? Mortgages. The felon, the one with 6 or 7 bankruptcies, failed businesses, fraudulent real estate deals, thinks he has a solution to the mortgage problem. So instead of y'all voting for the black lady and getting a $25,000 tax credit when you buy a new home, he's going to offer 50-year loans. You're going to be paying on your mortgage all your fucking life, is what they're saying. 30-year loans is too fucking high as it is. We got 15 and 30-year loans right now. I think you can get 20-year loans right now too. But most people opt for the 30-year loan because the interest rates on the loans are so fucking high. The only way they can afford the property is if the mortgage is longer. And that's what he's trying to tap into, is that he can get more poor people to buy houses that they can't afford if he offers them 50-year loans. But people who don't understand math don't realize what this is going to do. As an example, a $400,000 house. The current interest rate right now is 6.125%, so I'm just gonna round it up to 6.2. A $400,000 house at 6.2%. You will be paying on a 20-year mortgage $2,100 a month, just on the principal and interest. That doesn't include your insurance. It doesn't include your taxes, which will make your shit jump sky high. On a 30-year loan, $2,800, about $2,600. Yeah, about $2,600 is what you have on a 30. No, it's cheaper. The 30-year loan goes down to about $1,900. I'm sorry, yeah, about $1,900. 20-year loan, $2,100. 30-year loan, $1,900. A 50-year loan will only bring you down Did I do that right? 20-year loan, $2,148. A 50-year loan is $1,900. So a 30-year loan is like right around $2,000, right in the middle. So if you got 30-year loan, you're paying $2,148 a month. You would save $250 a month by getting a 50-year loan. But that means you will be paying for 20 more additional years. What that factors to, on a 20-year mortgage, on a $400,000 house, you would have paid $773,346. That seems like that is extremely high. Maybe my math ain't mathing, but that's what it computed to. I plugged it in the thing before I came back on the phone. That's without interest and tax. Insurance and tax, which is required. On a 50-year loan, you would have ended up paying $1,139,743 for your house. So your house started off as $40,000. Let's just go round it up to $1,200. So we multiply by 3. That means you would have bought your house 3 times. You would have bought. Average person don't even stay in a home that long any longer. I've only been in my house 2 years and I'm ready to move. Three times. By extending your loan from a 20-year loan to a 50-year loan, you would have bought your house, the same house, over again 3 times. And with taxes going up, property taxes going up, homeowners insurance going up, that means your mortgage will go up as well. But that $1,139,000 price, that is how much you're just gonna be paying on principal and interest, and you're gonna be paying the interest at least for the first 10 to 15 years of your house, of your loan. The orange fellow says, so what? Y'all can do that. It's basically like getting an interest-only loan. You're paying nothing but interest. You have no equity, ownership into that house for about 15, 20 years. It's not a good thing. And he mentioned something, I forgot to look it up. I saw something about him offering to send people $2,000 checks off of the tariffs. Now, you know he a fucking lie. This is all about a money grab for the Republicans. They are trying to figure out a way to squeeze the money out of Republicans, out of the United States, to fatten their pockets. That's the whole goal of this fucking administration. You think he finna give you $2,000? And if he do, he ain't giving it to no Democrats. He already trying to cut every program that he think is Democrat ran or led. What makes you think that he gonna give you $2,000? He ain't even gave the ICE agents they $50,000 bonus, or they student loan waiver. He didn't give out the last stimulus, even though he tried to take credit for it. The people who decided to quit their jobs early under the Doge program, they ain't got their bonus checks either. Remember, they were supposed to get an early payout or early buyout if they left. They ain't got them either. Are y'all still this gullible to believe anything that man says, as far as like helping you? He's not. We not that green, are we? Make sure I got everything covered, child. Jasmine Crockett considering to run. Gavin Newsom is going to run. I didn't think that Bernie, AOC, and Gavin and Crockett was on the same page. Newsom basically, because I already out here campaigning for his thing. Newsom can't run again as governor. He already met his term limits, so he can't. That's why he's moving on up to the president. By him going to the summit, Brandon Scott Gravalia sworn in. She signed off on the Epstein files. Did I talk about the Epstein files? So they dumped more files into the committee who's investigating into it. And within those committees, there was emails that showed, I did talk about that showed conversations between Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Michael Wolff. Michael Wolff is the one who wrote the book, and the one that Melania was talking about suing at first because of him implicating her and Trump and her and Epstein. And also Erica Kirk, what the fuck is with everybody driving today? She's baby, these people here, I'm about to cuss. I done moved 3 parking spots already. You think it's funny, bitch? I'll beat your ass. Motherfucking Teslas. I should scrape her shit to drive my key around her motherfucking car, but I'm not, because I'm trying to be a better person. So Erica Kirk, okay, I think I told y'all this before. She basically met Trump during the Miss Something pageant that he used to be part of, right? Alright, she also had a trafficking ring in Romania to the point that she was banned from Romania through her orphanage. She changed her name and went for a job interview at Turning Point, and where she met Charlie Kirk, who became smitten and fell in love with her. Love at first sight. And 4 years later, he's dead. And I do believe, and I will say it again, this is my thoughts, that her and the Heritage Foundation found a way to get rid of her spouse. And she is vying for a position in the White House. I believe that they are going to eventually go up against the orange felon, even though he thinks he's running shit. They got an internal battle going on her, and she wants to fill that seat as the first lady. Raggedy ass. That's my thoughts on it. Okay, so Justice Brown Jackson talked about the $5 billion of e-funds that have vanished. I told y'all before about the money that vanished from the comptroller's office, and there was other money that was supposed to have been saved from fraud and abuse and waste and abuse through the Doge cuts. All that money's missing too. The biggest money heist in the world happening right before our eyes. Arizona announced that they don't give a damn about the pardon. They move forward with their cases. The Democrats caved in the Senate. The House voted in that CR. It didn't do us any good. It gave Republicans millions and millions of dollars. Told y'all about how I'm not happy with the boycott. I think it's to kill the boycott by them opening up it right now. We did flip. Yes, let's get into some good news. We flipped some more seats, y'all. In fucking Utah, of all places. We flipped some more seats. Now what we gotta do is turn the fucking White House on its head. FBI ordered to not wear masks. Mandates by the federal judge. Amazon allowing ICE to buy their warehouses. Zora in Puerto Rico. The air traffic controllers. Pelosi stepping down. Meta getting all up in your business. And the mortgage crisis. The economic boycott starts November 25th, y'all. Now, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.